So it was a very interesting weekend this weekend where a movie that has already been out for 4 weeks became the number one movie at the box office. Oh my God, it's almost like if you put out quality movies, you're going to make money. Man, that's an odd concept, but let's put up the numbers, guys. Spider Man Across the Spider Verse came in at number one again, retaking that number one spot on its fourth week, dropping only 28.5%, bringing in 19.3 million in its fourth week. And another movie, which I actually saw this weekend, No Hard Feelings. I actually went and checked it out. I'm a big Jennifer Lawrence fan. It debuted at number four, but 15 million for that type of movie, I don't think that's horrible. I don't know how much it costs to make that movie, but the story here is, of course, The Flash, Little Mermaid, and of course, Fast 10. And let's not forget about Transformers as well. That's the big story that I think a lot of people aren't necessarily talking about, because when you look at something like Fast 10, I think Fast 10 did pretty well overseas, but not here in the United States. It brought in almost 700 million. I mean, that's nothing to sneeze at. But when you look at where the franchise was and where it is now, it's losing its appeal with audience. I mean, they still have their core fan base, but like I was trying to tell people, they're like, well, there's a lot of competition coming up. That's bull crap right there, because if there's a lot of competition coming up, which there was, if your movie was good, it would still do better than that. Look at Across the Spider-Verse. Across the Spider-Verse has a lot of competition. It's been out for 4 weeks, which is a month. Elemental, only been out for 2 weeks. It's the second week. That's competition. The Flash, second week. That's competition. Transformers, 3 weeks. That's competition. Little Mermaid came out the week before Spider-Verse, but still, that's competition for the previous week. So they had these movies right here that Cross the Spider-Verse had to go ahead and compete with, and it beat all of them. It beat all of them, because most of these movies have controversy behind it. Little Mermaid has controversy behind it. The Flash has controversy behind it. The Pixar movies aren't doing as good as they used to, because, again, with Disney doing these, Disney is trying to put social politics in their movies, and people are just kind of fed up with it. It's one of the reasons why the Mario movie has done so well, because Miyamoto went in there and said, this is a movie for family. We're not putting your stupid politics in it. This is going to be a movie that families can go and enjoy, and you can see, because it made a bajillion dollars, But you look at these other movies, Transformers, I actually enjoyed Rise of the Beast quite a bit, but Transformers suffers from almost the same thing that Fast 10 suffers from, is where Michael Bay's movies ran that franchise so far into the ground. Regardless if you have a good film like Bumblebee or Rise of the Beast definitely has its issues, but it's not Michael Bay stupid. It's actually a really fun, enjoyable movie. I enjoyed it, but the audience has lost faith in it. And speaking of lost faith into a franchise, people have completely lost faith in the DC franchise. You look at something like The Flash, and people can sit there and say, well, Ezra Miller is the reason why the movie's not making money. Well, then what's your excuse for Black Adam, Birds of Prey, The Suicide Squad, Shazam 2? These movies all underperformed. So you can't use Ezra Miller as an excuse, as the scapegoat for your movie underperforming, because the average person on the street don't even know who the hell Ezra Miller is. So when you look at something like this and it's just bombing, it's because DC has put out way too many bad movies. And when you see a character and you go, oh, I remember that guy in Justice League. I didn't like that movie. I think I'll skip this one. That's what happens. The average person don't know who Ezra Miller is, but they see him and they associate him with the movies they did see with that character in it, and they're like, you know what? I didn't like that Justice League movie. I'm going to go skip this. This is one of the major reasons why Henry Cavill is no longer Superman. Not that Henry Cavill is a bad Superman. No, that's not the reason at all. He is too closely associated with the old DC. And I know there's a lot of stuff going on out there about, well, this person's returning, this. And I'm telling you, after these box office, we're not going to see a lot of Gal Gadot will not be Wonder Woman. I will be surprised. It really, as Jason Momoa as Aquaman, I would be surprised if he returns as Aquaman, but that's really going to rely on how much money that movie is going to make. His second movie, if it makes $1 billion like his first one did, or at this case, at least anything north of 500 million, because DC hasn't been hitting the 500 million point in a long time, then maybe he'll return as Aquaman. But right now, anything associated with that, fans are just not wanting to go see. It's nothing personal. I think DC needs to lie dormant for a very, very long time, and they need to reboot the DC universe. I actually think James Gunn's movies are going to die on arrival unless they reboot that franchise and let it, basically lie dormant. Don't put out Superman Legacy in 2025. Put out in 2026. Just go radio silent for the next 3 years and then start over, because this is just laughable when you ask me my opinion. Then you look at something like Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse, and people are going to see this movie because of good word of mouth. People enjoyed the movie. It's a fantastic movie. I loved this movie. I saw it 3 times. And I have not seen a movie multiple times since Endgame. Endgame was the last movie that I went and saw multiple viewings of in the theater. Everything else, I was just like, okay, I'll just wait for it to come out on streaming service. I'll catch it again. As much as I liked Wakanda Forever and No Way Home, I like those 2 movies. I was like, okay, I'll just wait for them to come out on streaming service. Across the Spider-Verse was so good, I had to go see it 2 more times in theaters. And I think that's what a lot of fans are like word of mouth, guys. It's word of mouth. People are going out and going, this movie is phenomenal. Doesn't matter if it's animated. You need to go check this movie out. And you can see where, again, like movies like Pixar, where Elemental is just not doing well because Disney has kind of like soiled the name of Pixar by adding so many, social politics in it. I'm not going to get on here and on my soapbox and say, go woke, go broke. But there does come a time where people just want to go to the movie and enjoy the movie and not have things thrown at you going, it's okay to be gay. It's okay to be trans. It's a they, them situation. People it's one of those things where if you're religious, you don't like if you believe in God, right? Doesn't mean you want to go to a movie and every movie you go see, people go, you need to read your Bible. You need to do this. It's okay for people to be gay, for people to be lesbian. If you want to change your body and be trans, that's perfectly fine. You are entitled to do whatever you want to do to make you happy. And you know what? You should be treated with respect. No one should disrespect you. But at the same time, you shouldn't be force feeding that shit down everybody's throats. Live your life. Be happy. Hopefully everybody is nice and respectful to you, and you are respectful to everybody else. But at the same time, don't push it on everybody. That's the way I feel about religious people. I very much believe in God and Jesus and all that, but I don't go to church. I don't read the Bible. I don't want to go to a movie and every single movie is someone trying to tell me why I should go to church, or I'm going to go to hell if I don't go to church, or I need to be baptized, or I need to do this. It's the same situation. It's not religious what that community is doing, but the social politics that Disney and other companies feel like they have to force feed into everybody's movie, right? It's just like it comes to time where it's overwhelming, and movies like Elemental is starting to feel that backlash because people don't want to go to the movies and be preached at. We understand that there is this LGBTQRWXYTZW123 exclamation mark at hotmail.com. We understand there's that movement out there, and you are right to live your life, and you have the right to be respectful. But at the same time, we as an audience does not need to get that force fed in every single thing. We go to the movie to be entertained, to be enjoyed, not to sit there and have, Bible thumpers preach the Lord Jesus Christ, or have the LGBTQWR, the Alphabet Squadron, preach to us that, hey, trans rights and they, them, and all that, I'm non-binary. That's not why we go to the movies, okay? And you can see where a lot of these movies are starting to feel the financial burn of that. Little Mermaid, I don't know how well Little Mermaid did. Let's see. Little Mermaid, $500 million. That's nothing to sneeze at. That's nothing to sneeze at, $500 million. Nothing to sneeze at whatsoever. But when you look at something like Aladdin that made $1 billion, or I believe Aladdin made close to $1 billion, but they made a ton of money. The reason why these movies aren't making as much as they would have is because of the social politics behind it. I didn't see The Little Mermaid. Little Mermaid, the animated movie, is my second favorite Disney movie of all time. I refuse to go see The Little Mermaid because that's not my Little Mermaid. I will wait for it to hit Disney Plus, and then I will give it a watch when it hits Disney Plus. I'm not boycotting the movie. I'm just not going to go see it in theaters. I will wait for it to come out on Disney Plus, like I waited for Shazam: Fury of the Gods. Some movies I can just wait on. I don't want to see Little Mermaid because of my own personal reasons, and that's just the way I feel about it, but I will catch it when it comes out on Disney Plus. I think when you start changing characters and who they are, and start changing the social politics and the meaning behind the things that we put out, and when we put it on the big screen, I think that's going to start affecting the audience. So, long story short, because I went on a massive soapbox in this video, Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse was number one again because it's a phenomenal movie. It's a phenomenal movie that has multiple layers to it. It's just phenomenal. I enjoyed it. Went to go see it 3 times, and I think this is a testament. If you put out good movies, you see the return. You see the box office return. And that, I think, is the most important thing. Well, guys, that's all I have. It was a very long and complex story. Wouldn't be surprised if a lot of my stuff gets cut out out of context and posted on Twitter, But hey, it is what it is. Once it's on YouTube, it's for you guys to do whatever the heck you want with it. That's just my thoughts. And as always, I am Robert Storms, and that is my opinion. Later, guys.